Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Library of the Weird. I hope you're doing fine. It's the time of the month again where I want to talk about the books I read and bought last month. It's May already. Can you believe it? I feel like the time is running. So, without further ado, let's talk about the books I read in April, because we have a lot of books to talk about. The first book I want to talk about is A Dust of Dreams by Steven Erikson. It's the 9th book in the Malazan of the Fallen series. It's a reread for me. I'm currently rereading the book along with the 10 Very Big Books podcast. It's a podcast where they're reading the whole series, and I try to keep pace with them. I read like 10 pages every day, and that kind of works. They're now well into the 10th book, and yeah, as the first time, I really loved this book. I think I loved it even more the second time, because you know how it ends. The second book I read in April is All the White Spaces by Wilkes. It's a blend of historical fiction and horror. We're following a trans man on an Antarctic expedition. It takes place at the beginning of the 20th century. I believe the novel starts right at the end of the First World War. And if you know anything about Antarctic exploration, you know that this was a very, very interesting time. I really liked this book. And I think I would even have liked it if there were no horror elements at all. It was really, really well written. There were a lot of nice quotes in this book. I really did enjoy it. And also, this book is also nominated for a Bram Stoker Award. The Bram Stoker Awards will be announced, I believe, in the middle of June. So I bought a few books which are potential candidates for a Bram Stoker Award before they have this ugly sticker on the front cover. So I'm really excited for reading those other books. But this is nominated as well, and I think it has really, really good chances for winning the award. The third book I read in April is Lovecraft Country by Ruff. I already did a video on this. You can find it here. And as I said in this video, I really, really liked it. It takes place in Jim Crow era USA in the 1950s, and we're following a black family who has lots of weird Lovecraftian encounters. I really, really did like it. Please watch the video about this. And let's get on to the next book. The fourth book I read in April was Howls from the Dark Ages, which is a short story collection of medieval horror stories. And I really, really enjoyed this as well. If you know me, if you know the content of this channel, you know I like everything that has to do with medieval stuff. And if we can get a blend of medieval stuff and horror, I really love it. And I just filmed a video talking about this. This will be released in the next couple of weeks. I hope you'll watch it when it comes out. And the last book I read, or rather I listened to it in April, is Wolfish by Erica Berry. It's a book where she talks about the depiction of wolves in our society and how this depiction has changed. And she also talks a lot about her life, about fear. There's always the connection with wolves and fear. and I quite enjoyed it as well. I would have liked it if the focus had been more on the wolves. I couldn't quite identify with the sections where she talked about her own life, because one, I'm a cis white man, and two, I'm living in Europe, in one of the safest countries in Europe. I can't really remember the last time I was scared of something. And yeah, she talks a lot about being scared, and I believe that's very, very different for even white women in the US. But with all that said, I still enjoyed it. And those were the 5 books I read in April. I liked all of them. I probably liked the medieval collection the most, Howls from the Dark Ages, but I'm not really into ranking the books I read. But let's get on to the books I bought in April, and this is pretty shameful for me because I bought lots of books. So the first one I already talked about is All the White Spaces. I bought this in the beginning of April, and I instantly read it because I really, really wanted to. And like I said, I really did enjoy it. So the next book I bought is Into the Forest, which is a short story collection edited by Lindy Ryan. And it contains stories which are all concerned with the Slavic witch Baba Yaga. All of the stories in here are written by women, which I kind of find interesting. And it's also nominated for a Bram Stoker Award. This is why I bought it. And I'm reading this right now, and I'm liking it so far. I'm probably going to do a video about this because I really want to talk about Baba Yaga. The next book I bought is The Fervor by Alma Katsu. I don't really know what it's about. I think this is a ghost story. On the back it says something about yokai and malevolent demons. This is also nominated for a Bram Stoker Award, and I really want to read this because I like Japanese and Asian horror stories. It's also American, Asian, and Pacific Islander month in the US. So I'm probably reading this hopefully in May. The next book is actually the last Bram Stoker nominated book I've bought in April, and this is Screams from the Dark, a short story collection edited by Alan Datlow. All the stories in here are about monsters, and the lineup for the short story collection is crazy. There are stories by Gemma Files, Priya Sharma, Joyce Carol Oates, Caitlin R. Kiernan. There's Laird Barron, John Langan. So there are huge names in here, and I'm really, really excited for reading this one. But I also bought some books that are not Bram Stoker nominated, and let's talk about them for a second. The first book I want to talk about is The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter. It's a short story collection, and I believe the stories in here are either retellings or very heavily influenced by European fairy tales, and all viewed from a feminist standpoint, I think. I wanted to read this for a long time. I believe it was released in the 80s. I really have to look it up. It's rather short. I think it's only about 150. Yeah, it's about 150 pages long, and I'll hopefully read it this month as well. The next book I bought is The Destroyer of Worlds, Return to Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff. It's actually the sequel to Lovecraft Country. I actually only read, not only, but was one of the reasons I read Lovecraft Country, because I saw, okay, there's a sequel coming out. So I better read the first one before I'm going to read the second one. And I don't really know when I'm going to read this, but hopefully soon. So the last book I bought last month is a very, very special book. It's called Mooncalves, Strange Stories. It's a short story collection edited by John W.M. Thompson, who also funded this book himself. It's a collection of 23 stories, all of which were written by authors he handpicked himself. There are only 250 copies in print. There's endless ones online as an ebook, but I believe I have number 158. Yeah, and I'm really proud of owning this one. I already read it and I really, really did enjoy it. It was definitely worth the money. If you can get one for yourself, please do. But you can also buy the ebook. You will be supporting a small press, which I think is really, really important. And yeah, those were all the books I bought in April, 7 books in total. I don't know when I'm going to read all of those, but yeah, we'll see. And now for the last part of the video. As you know, I like to talk about the music I'm listening to right now. What do I read when I'm reading? And one thing I'm really excited for is that there's going to be a new album by Black Braid. I talked about Black Braid a few videos ago. They are a one-man black metal project from Canada and heavily influenced by the project leader being Native American. I really enjoyed the first album. There's a new song which was released a few days ago, and I really do like this one as well. You can find it in the description. Please check it out and maybe let me know, or let him know, what you think about it. A band I'm listening to a lot right now when I'm riding the train and reading is Dance with the Dead. They're blending synthwave, dark wave with metal. There's no lyrics in their songs, and this is really awesome for reading. And please check them out as well if you don't know about them already. And the last kind of bands I want to talk about, I kind of rediscovered. I listened when I was younger, especially in my teens. I listened to a lot of emo music, and I've really gotten back into My Chemical Romance. I'm listening to The Black Parade and 3 Cheers for a Sweet Revenge 24/7. Those are 2 of my very, very favorite albums, and you probably know about them, but I'm still going to link a song in the description. Please check them out if you don't know them. And this is basically the music I'm listening to right now. And with that, please let me know if you're interested in any of the books I talked about. Have you maybe read some of them already? How was your April in books? Are you keeping up with your reading goals? Have you any standout books I should know about? Have you found new artists I should check out? I'm really, really interested in that. So please let me know. I'm really looking forward for May. My reading is going really, really great. I think the May recap will be a bit longer than this one. And yeah, have a nice time. Have a great day. See you next week. Goodbye.